sugar is there. So exciting. What we're going to be doing with the hot sugar is actually going right in just a few drops at a time between where the mixer, where the whip is and where the bowl is. Okay, does that make any sense? Probably not. I'm going to show you. All right, I've got a pretty good foam happening now. I've got sugar at 235, and I'm going to go right in this spot right here. While the mixer's going, all right, so just a drop at a time. You're just looking for a little drop in there. You can turn this down a little bit. We just need to keep it moving. If I poured it all in there at once, it would scramble the eggs. We're not going to do it. We want it kind of gently incorporated. A little bit at a time. Let's take a break, and I'll show you what that looks like. Because if you don't know what it looks like, you're not going to be confident when you try this at home. Okay, you notice we're getting a lot more volume. That's good. Okay, so when we're talking about stiff peak, see how that's kind of floppy? That's not stiff for upright. No, that's just a nice soft peak right there. See, it won't really stick up off my whisk. Yeah, that's good. That's what we want because we're getting a lot of volume. We're getting the sugar incorporated, and then we're going to whip it all the way to a firm, stiff peak. Okay, now I'm like a lefty now. Practically, I got this. I got this. Okay, we're putting all the sugar in. We're still going little bits at a time, no jumping. No, I'm not doing that. A little bit at a time. Let it incorporate. A little more. You notice this is not caramel, okay? Caramel would not work chemically. It's too much moisture's gone out of it. Temperatures are important. 235, softball stage is what we call that. Yeah, so you really do need the thermometer. You can do it visually. It's just after it boils, you see a lot of bubbles, and then it becomes a blanket of bubbles. That's generally the softball stage. Thermometer will make you sure. All right, we got all the sugar in there. Yeah. And check for sage. You see, this happens kind of quickly once you really get the volume going on there. Ooh. You notice, remember we started and it was kind of, kind of grayish, eggy color. And now it's very beautiful white. Ah, look at that peak. Now, we have to determine, is that a soft peak or is that a medium peak? I'm feeling that that is medium. Yeah, that is fully a medium. When it goes straight up, that's a stiff peak. We're not there yet, but we're very close. See how it still kind of flops over just a bit? Isn't that cute? All right, we're gonna go just a little bit more, not too much. This is kind of the danger zone right here, guys. This is where you can overwhip your egg whites. Let's don't do that. And you know what? If you do overwhip your egg whites, don't even worry about it. Throw them out and start over, I'm not kidding. Because you can't bring them back, and your meringue will never be beautiful. You'll be apologizing for your dessert tonight, and let's don't even do that. So, I always have extra egg whites just in case, but know that now's the point we're really watching it. We're not going to overwhip them. It doesn't really, I can smell this cooked sugar and the egg white. We haven't put any flavoring in there yet. We'll get to that. But first we want to make sure we have the right texture. Okay. Now, let's see. Aha! Straight up. Yeah? Let's get everything from the bottom all the way up and see if that is really, really true. Yep. Yep, I could go, that one flipped over. Let's see. Might be telling me to go another 30 seconds, but no, they're going straight up like that, okay? And look at the volume. Beautiful, white, fluffy. Can we pipe that? That's another question. Is it firm enough to pipe? It is. We're good. We did it. Yay. Wow. Quiet. Machines are fighting me in the kitchen. Okay, remember, this is raspberry meringue. So, we have the consistency we want. Because this is Italian meringue, we've cooked it with sugar, it's stable. But you know, you still don't want to leave these on the counter for a couple hours. You want to go ahead and finish them. So I need some flavor in there. I'm going to put a little vanilla, and by that I mean about a teaspoon. I don't want it to turn dark, so I'm going to go. I always tell you bakers measure everything, but every now and then we don't. I just put a little bit in. Okay, a little bit of vanilla, just enough to give it a hint of flavor and not change my texture or my color. Pinch of salt. Always with dessert, guys, even if it's not on the recipe, you need it. I think that's me. Still checking our texture. It's not going to change from here, right? Unless you make it too watery, but don't do that. Don't put any water in it. I have a little raspberry sauce here. It's just a pureed raspberry, sort of basically a pint of raspberries with sugar and a little bourbon. So that was my mood that day. And I'm not adding a lot of moisture because that's gonna mess me up. I'm just gonna do a little bit for color and flavor. A couple drops at a time. And that is so true with food color. I did bring some food color out in case we don't get as pink as we want this meringue to be. To just the sauce. And I like, when desserts, guys, I like them light. In the French tradition, you don't see a lot of neon colors. You just don't. You see very pale pinks, you see pale yellows, the original colors of macaron, you know, that famous French cookie, right? We would call them macaroons, but they're macaron. They're very light and pale. There is clearly like a serious squirrel out in my yard right now. And my dogs are going for it. So if I keep adding, I'm gonna get too much moisture. So I'm gonna kick it up with just, you see here, we're getting a little pink. Getting a little pink tint, that's what I want. So once I know that I've got some raspberry flavor in there, I've got some vanilla, I can go in with a little food color, and I mean very little. To me, this is just a drop of red or two, and that's gonna heighten the color. Now if you mix this up, it's very easy to get tie-dye if you don't really get it all the way incorporated. So I'm close to where I want to be. It's a very soft pink we're doing. I'm very close to where I want to be. But now it's just incorporating it fully, mixing it all up. A lot of times at this point, I really don't want any more air in there. I'm sensitive to over mixing. So at this point, I would go to a big spatula and do what we call folding. I come over here and just sort of fold my mixture over on itself. Like that, folding. That's when you just need to be a little more gentle. You don't want all those tines of the whip going around. What do you think? Pretty nice, right? I think it's pretty. I just like flipped some on myself, so yeah. Looks good, feels good, and does it taste good? Let's do that. Let's find out. I have a tasting spoon. I never go in with my fingers, and I hope you guys won't either. Just good practice, right? Professional kitchen, home kitchen. I have a tasting spoon. I know it sounds persnickety. Ooh, it's nice. It's nice. I like it. I like it just like that. I'm going to show you how to put this in a piping bag. And I'll clear out my mise en place. We are done with that. Piping bag. You've seen probably the canvas bags. Those are okay. Most pastry chefs that I know prefer plastic ones. The brand here is Copy Cake. You can get these, you can get them definitely online. You can definitely get them in a hobby store, craft store, kitchen store probably. Yeah, they're great. We use them all the time. And you see here that the tip is closed. So I have to decide what size tip I'm going to use. Metal tip, pastry tips we also call them. This is a star tip and it has a number on here somewhere. That would require me getting my glasses. Never mind. I'll get to you back on that. But you can choose. You can choose. Do you want a big, wide meringue? Do you want little stars? Do you want a pipe on this? Lots of choices. Me, I'm going stars because I want kind of like little cookie size that I'll serve with raspberries and ice cream tonight at my dinner party. Okay, so for me, star tip is good. Now I've gotten curious about what size star tip this is. I gotta know. I gotta know right now. Wow. Because they're always marked on there. It is an 846, Atco 846. Check it out, it's my favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut this to allow that tip to come out. Right about there. That's why you need a lot of these, is sometimes, you know, you get it too big and the tip will fall right through. So another thing is you put your tip in there. Ideally, with the tip in, pointing out. Good, should be nice and tight. But of course, all the meringue should come out the tip. It shouldn't get hung up on any of the plastic. Pretty good. All right, now I gotta get the meringue into here. What I'm gonna do is twist that and kind of create a little dam. Put that in a water glass. Just any tall water glass will do. I fold this over to create a tunnel to put the meringue in. And this allows me to use both my hands for the meringue, because otherwise I'd be trying to hold this and balance and try and scoop it in and like this. So when I can be a little more stable, I prefer to be. This is just right. I'm scooping that pale pink, very pale pink meringue. There, again, remember I'm going to serve this with raspberries and cookies and ice cream. So it's really just an accent, a crunchy accent piece. Clean up this bag. Now I'm transferring it over the bowl so we can shake it down in there and get it all usable. So part of my mise en place was figuring out what I'm going to do when I get this far along, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pipe these onto a baking pan that has a piece of parchment on it, like so. I'll do this so you can see. This is the fun part, right? This is the fun part. We're decorating. I'm going to show you everything. I'm even going to adjust this because I want you to see. Okay, it's going to be sideways for a minute. It'll be worth it. Okay, ready? So, I've twisted the top. I've got a pretty good hold on it. I've got a, we call it burping the bag. I'm going to burp the bag and get the air out of it. And then I'm going to do little stars. Well, that's more of a rosette. Here's a star.